Hello, guys. My name is Desmond, and I welcome you to my lesson for today, where we'll be looking at analytical geometry. So, guys, thanks very much for joining, and I hope you will enjoy today's lesson. So, as I've indicated, guys, this lesson is being recorded. As soon as I'm done, it is going to be posted on our social media platform. So just in case, if you're catching up on my YouTube channel, just make sure that you've subscribed, and again, you have clicked on that bell notification so that every time when I upload a new lesson, you'll be notified and be able to catch up. Shreyas, I notice you just joined now. Are you good on your side? Can you see and can you clearly hear me when I speak?
Yes,
Okay, 100%. So, what I'm going to be doing, guys, in today's lesson, most importantly, is to take you through the given statement, do a bit of an interpretation on the given diagram, go through the questions, and then from there, train you on how you answer exam type of questions. So just make sure that you've got a very nice glass of water, and again, just make sure that you've got your calculator because you might be performing some calculations. Okay, so this is what we're given in the diagram below. Triangle PQR with vertices P, Q, and R is given. So this is all that we are told with regards to this diagram. So ladies and gentlemen, you firstly need to be aware that not everything which is given on the statement might be there on the diagram, and also you might have additional information on the diagram when you compare with the given statement. So just make sure that at all times you pay full attention to all the details that you are given. So, Lerato, this is all that we are given, and we just need to be aware that here they are talking about a triangle. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, over there. So in this triangle having the letters P, Q, and R with the vertices, remember, I've said the word vertices, it simply refers to the corners. They are the corners. So we've got the P corner, the Q corner, and the R corner. So this corner, they've got coordinates. Remember, P is a point, and then this is what we call the coordinates. Q is a point, this is what we call the coordinates. R is a point, this is what we call the coordinates. So it's very, very important. What are we having there? It's -2 and -2. Very, very much important, guys, that you notice that you've got a point in the second quadrant, and then the other one is along the x-axis over there, and then here we've got another point in the third quadrant. So why is it important for you to notice the position of those points? Is because if you had to calculate something, then you already know whether to expect a positive or a negative value. Okay, so before I start tackling the questions, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to be aware that we've got what we call a Cartesian plane. What is a Cartesian plane? A Cartesian plane, it is made of two axes, being this one called the x-axis and the vertical one called the y-axis, having the point of intersection being called O, O, which stands for the origin. So at the origin, we've got the coordinates being 0 for x and 0 for y. Then from the origin in that direction, positive x values, positive y values, negative x values, negative y values. So everything, it is drawn on a Cartesian plane. Yay, guys. Someone was coughing there. I almost thought it was a tornado, but it's fine. Don't be scared. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. I think I've explained all that I wanted you guys to be aware of before we can tackle the question. I'm not sure if you guys have got any questions before we start. Limo life lwazi moeketsen serious. Do you guys think you are ready to now fight these questions? So I suppose the message is still on the way. I'll just wait in the meantime for just the two of you guys to confirm. Let me check. Shreyas, is the message still on the way? Or can you hear me now?
No, sir. I think we can.
Okay, I just got a response from Shreyas. So what I'm going to do is to then continue. So remember, guys, just in case if you've got a question somewhere in the middle of my explanation, don't worry about interrupting me. So you can just dive in and straight away ask a question. So what I'm going to do is just to continue with the explanation and make sure that everything it is clear and easy. Because what I'm noticing on my side is that there's load shedding and I'm connected with my Wi-Fi. That's why the message is taking some time to get to you guys. Okay, so this is what I want to do, guys. So we'll be now looking at question 4.1, which says calculate the angle that PQ makes with the positive x-axis. Okay, so let's try to check exactly what that question is talking about. So this question says calculate, let's say the angle being angle theta, that a PQ makes with the positive x-axis. So in short, ladies and gentlemen, this is the angle. This is the angle that the question wants you to calculate. So in short, it's more like every time when they're talking about an angle formed with the positive x-axis. So let's say, for example, you've got that line being the x-axis. Obviously, you might be having that one being the y-axis. The moment you've got a line, let's say a line similar to that, and they say between point 1 and point 2, calculate the angle that it is formed with the positive x-axis. So the positive x-axis, it is this one, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the positive x-axis. So obviously, we know the positive axis from there in that direction. Then it's more like you take it from that line in that direction of an anti-clockwise direction. So for this one to make a perfect sense, I'll just redraw it there so that you guys understand what is meant by the positive x-axis, because you might be wondering to say, now I've drawn it on the negative side of the x-axis. So let's say, okay, this is the y-axis and this is the x-axis. So we've got that a triangle, let's say something similar to that. So can you see, guys, this line, it can actually extend like that up until it hits that y-axis, which is this line being extended. So the angle formed with the positive x-axis. So remember, the positive x-axis is from the origin in that direction. So that angle formed is just an angle from that line in an anti-clockwise direction. So it's more like the angle that we are measuring is between this line and that line over there. So it is this line and that line over there. So that angle, it is actually that one. So it doesn't matter whether it is drawn there or if it is drawn there, or otherwise if it is drawn there. What matters the most is that we're actually measuring the opening made by this line and again that line. So that angle is the same. So it doesn't matter whether I drew that arrow there, or otherwise if I extended the line and drew it from the positive in an anti-clockwise direction. It doesn't really matter that much. I hope you guys got that one over there. So now the question is saying calculate the angle that PQ makes with the positive x-axis. And this question, it is actually allocated 3 marks. So remember, guys, when you're dealing with analytical geometry, you just need to be aware that we've got some tools that we normally use. I think it might worth it to just do a quick revision on the formulas applicable to this type of questions, just so that we bring everyone on board. So remember, guys, let's say number one, we've got the distance formula. And the distance formula, we said d, it is equals to square root of x2. I think it was that squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. And then this is all that we could talk about regarding the distance formula. Let me maybe say the middle point formula, well known as the midpoint formula. We know it is just x1 plus x2 all over 2, and then what is it? y1 plus y2 all over 2. Okay, let's see. The other important tool, it is this one of the gradient. So we said the gradient, it has got two formulas. The other one, that's where we say, let's say small letter m representing the gradient, it is equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And again, we said the formula for the gradient could be tan angle is equals to the gradient over there. And again, ladies and gentlemen, number 4, I remember us talking about what was it, guys? The straight line formula. Let's say the straight line formula. So on that one, we said it is in this standard form of y is equals to mx plus c. And if you remember, guys, we also have this formula which says y minus y1 is equals to, I think here is m, then we have x minus x1. So just make sure that I'm also correct on that one. But what I can say is that whichever formula that you use, it doesn't really matter that much. You just need to know your gradient, then have 1 point. You just know your gradient, then have 1 point. So the other thing, Molefe, that you need to be aware of is that for parallel lines, gradient number 1 is equals to gradient number 2. And then for perpendicular lines, we've got gradient number 1 being multiplied by gradient number 2, and this will be equals to -1. So guys, I think it is very much important that you are aware of all of this. You remember on Monday I did a lesson where I was introducing you guys to analytical geometry, where I explained all of this in detail. So can you see everything? It is now in my head. So what I'm going to do, I'll just take this away, then we try and solve the questions. You will realize that you actually need to have an understanding. Then you'll be able to answer all the questions using this summarized information here. So let's see. The question said calculate the angle that PQ makes with the positive x-axis. So always, I do remember very well that in analytical geometry, the moment they start talking about the gradients or the angle, this is the right formula to use. So can you see? That means I'll need two things. You remember, guys, I've been preaching to say in analytical geometry, if there's a question which says, Lwazi, 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 how are you? Just ask yourself this question: do I have two things? It doesn't matter whether they say determine the coordinates of M being the midpoint of PR. Whatever the question is, in analytical geometry, ask yourself this question. Do I have two things? Those two things, you just need 2 points. If you don't have 2 points, then ask yourself, do you have the distance, do you have the midpoint, or do you have the gradient? Because normally, if they don't give you the 2 points, they might give you the gradient, then 1 point. So it's two things that you need in order to calculate the unknown. Okay, let's see. In this case, it seems to be relevant to therefore use this formula which says a tan angle it is equals to gradient. So now, what is the gradient? I'm not given the gradient of PQ, but I know the formula says y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which means the formula, it is going to be tan angle, it's equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So ask yourself this question: do I have two things? And answer to that question, it's a big yes. What two things do I have? Can you see? You've got the points over there. So straight away, you can just substitute to say, let me see. Now I need to determine which one is y2, which one is x2. Between letter PQ, which one comes first? The one that comes first, it is going to be my y1 and x1. The letter that comes second, it is going to be x2 and y2. Which letter comes first, guys? Let's see. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q. Okay, so that means P comes first and Q comes second. So let me substitute. That means my Y2, it is going to be -2, and then my Y1, it is actually going to be 2. So can you see, guys? Every time when you substitute something which is a negative value, make sure to substitute in brackets. So let's see, what is my x2? It is also going to be -2 minus, there I'm having -1. Remember, there you've got an angle being equals to that. So what is this when you punch it on a calculator, guys? I think you're going to get, this is -4. This is going to be -1. So it's more like you've got -4 over -1. And this is going to be, what is it going to? It's going to cancel. Then you end up having 4 over there. So it's more like you have tan angle being equals to 4. So can you guys see that in order to determine the angle, you do know very well that you're going to have second function of tan 4, and whatever that you're going to get, it is actually your angle theta there. So What are you guys getting when you punch that? I hope I'm not losing you guys. Eh, are we still on the same page, guys? Let me try to punch all of that. Second function of tan 4. I'm getting 75.96. What are you guys getting there?
It's got 75.96 degrees.
So got the same answer.
75.96.
Who's speaking with that voice of rappers? Who was that honorable member? Oh, let me see. Hey, Lwazi, was it you, bro?
Yes, sir.
Are you not a rapper, bro? Lwazi the Lwazis. It's my first time hearing your voice, bro. I think you are a rapper, bro. Let's see. Hey, ladies, do you agree with that value there? Lerat,
Yes, yes,
Mulefe,
agree.
Bokamso. Okay. Lerato, can you tell everyone what they must remember when going to write mathematics paper 2? Can you remind everyone, Lerato?
They must put their calculators on the degree mode.
Ladies and gentlemen, at all times, make sure that your calculator is on degree mode. I'm telling you, you won't. Wait. Let me make sure that I write that correctly because I want to remove all of this. So that means the angle that we calculated over there, let's say it's angle theta, it is equals to 79.96 degrees. So guys, it is very much important that after writing that number there, you say degrees. Why? Because we are calculating an angle, and the angle, it is measured in degrees. Don't just write a number over there, because we are not sure if that is your age, or otherwise if that is how much you have got. Okay, so just make sure to remember the units, ladies and gentlemen, when performing some calculations. So now let's try to move to the next question. I hope you guys can be able to see over there. Let me try to zoom in. So the question says, determine the coordinates of M, the midpoint of PR. Easy, 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 easy. Calculate or determine the coordinates of M, the middle point of PR, the midpoint of PR. So possibly it could be somewhere there, ladies and gentlemen. M being the midpoint of PR, it could be somewhere there. One thing for sure, we know our Y value is going to be a positive number. We are just not sure if the midpoint actually lies on the other side or on the positive side of the X axis. Let me see. Is there someone who wants a to remind us in terms of what do we ask ourselves when we are answering an analytical geometry question? What is that question? Do you guys still remember? Honorable members, I had like someone wanted to give it a try. I'm not sure if it was you, Lerato, because I see you are on the top of the list there. Was it you? Did you want to say something, Lerato?
Yes, sir, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so remember, guys, in coming months, I might ask yourself this question again. So, it is exactly what I said just now to say. Every time when you are answering the question for analytical geometry, ask yourself this question: do I have two things? So the question says determine the coordinates of M, the midpoint of PR. So that means in the end, they want you to do M into X value and whatever Y value. That's what the question wants you to calculate. So now, because they're talking about the midpoint, can you see the midpoint formula wants you to have two things: the X1, Y1, X2, and X2. They want you to have two things. So do we have those two things, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, we do. Can you see? We've got the coordinates of P and the coordinates of R, which means we can therefore use the formula to determine the coordinates. Okay, let's see. We do know very well that the X value of the midpoint of what is it, PR, it is going to be equals to let me get a different, okay, so it is going to be equals to, let's see, X of P plus X of R divided by 2 being equals to, what is X of P? There you've got -1 plus, what is X of R is 3 over 2. Then what are we having there? It's more like we have 3 minus 1 being 2. So it's more like 2 over 2. This is equals to 1. So can you guys see? That means already we have the X value of the midpoint. So now we do the same for Y. What is Y of P? Or maybe let me just write the formula to say Y of P plus Y of R divided by 2. What is Y of P? Is 2 over there. What is Y of that? It's what is it? Is 0. And then this is being divided by 2. Therefore, it's more like we've got 2 over 2 being equals to 1. So that means we've got also 1 over there. So can you guys see that my guess was actually almost correct, because we've got a positive a X value there being 1, and again we've got a positive Y value being 1. So that means the coordinates of M, it is actually 1 and 1. I'm not sure if you guys understood all of that. Grace, did it make sense? Kgola bokamoso, kgola bokamoso, kgola bokamoso. Loazi, are we on the same page, bro?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, bro. Mr. Mozia, I noticed you just joined. I'm not sure if I lost you there.
No, yeah, I've just joined, so I'm trying to catch up, but I'm okay. I'll just.
Okay, no, then it's fine. I'll just do a very quick explanation of what I was doing over there. Kgola bokamoso, Shreyas, are we okay that side?
Yes, I'm okay.
100%. Mr. Mozia. So what we were doing there, you just missed the first question where we calculated the angle formed over there. So this lesson is being recorded. It will be made available online and you can catch up. So now we are on question 4.2, where the question says, determine the coordinates of M, the midpoint of PR. That is what the question says. So the midpoint simply means the middle point between 2 points. So there is point P, there is point R, the middle point, I estimated it to be there. So remember, guys, always ask yourself this question: do I have two things? Yes, you do have two things, being 2 points. When you have 2 points, I am telling you now, ladies and gentlemen, you can calculate everything that examiner might want you to calculate. So for a question where you are given the points, just know that you are most likely to get full marks if you know your story there. So we've got all of these formulas: the distance formula, the midpoint formula, the gradient formula, straight line formula, and this important information which says for parallel lines we've got equal gradients, for perpendicular lines the product of the gradient of the two lines, it is equals to -1. So when you are given the coordinates, ladies and gentlemen, it is easy, but it only gets tricky if you do not have all the points, because in that way you might be given the distance or the value of the midpoint or the value of the gradient, and you might need to calculate that as a point. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, over there. So what we did here, Mr. Mosier, it was just to use the midpoint formula to determine that point. So this is the formula: that point plus that point, and then you divide it by 2, substitute, you get 1. The y value of that point, y value of that point divided by 2, and then we end up getting 1 and 1. So ladies and gentlemen, this M is what we call a point, and this is what we call the coordinates. So this is what we call X value. This is what we call Y value. So now, what is the cream of the question? What do I mean by the cream of the question? Ladies and gentlemen, I always say the cream of the question. It is that weight or those weights when removed from the question, the whole of the question will not make sense. But in this case, can you see? Determine the coordinates of M, the midpoint of PR, which means the cream of the question is the coordinates. So that means when you answer the question, do not give us the X value, do not give us the Y value, do not give us a point. Ladies and gentlemen, what examiner needs over there, it is the coordinates. How do we represent the coordinates? Ladies and gentlemen, the coordinates is going to be in a form of whatever the name of the point, of which in this case is point M, then you must give the X value and the Y value as that format. In that way, you have addressed the question which says determine the coordinates of whatever the point that examiner would want you to calculate. Mr. Mosier, that was actually a brief or a summary of what we're doing over there. Are you now in our train, Mosier?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I'm following now.
100%. So now let's move to question 4.3. So let's see. What are they saying there, ladies and gentlemen? So remember, guys, I think you do have this question paper because I asked our manager to send it in the group. So the question says, determine the perimeter of triangle PQR to the nearest whole number. Ladies and gentlemen, as I've said, there's what I refer to as the cream of the question. Is there someone who wants to guess what is the cream of the question over there? The cream of the question is that word or those words when removed from the question, the whole of the question won't make sense. It won't be clear, or you won't know exactly how to answer the question. So what is that word when removed? The whole of that will be, let's say, a bit vague. So why is it important, Trias, to be able to identify the cream of the question? Is because it helps you to know exactly what you are answering. It helps you to directly answer the question. We don't want to hear you talking about tomatoes there, Shriyas. We just want to know what we want to know as the examiner. So anyone who wants to try and tell me what is the cream of the question for that question over there? What is the cream? What is that special letter or those special letters of which, when removed, the whole of this will not make a perfect sense?
Perimeter, sir.
Shriyas says, Shriyas and Lerato says perimeter. So, Bokamoso, it simply means if you don't know what perimeter is, you will not confidently answer the question. So, it is very, 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 very much important, ladies and gentlemen, that you are able to identify the cream of the question. So, the word determine is not the cream, because if that word is removed, with what remains being the perimeter of triangle, you can actually answer the question without that word of determine. But the perimeter, very, very much, because now you have determined there of triangle that to the nearest whole. So you're not sure if they want you to determine the area, if they want you to determine whatever of that triangle. It could be many things that you can calculate. It could be the sides of that triangle. It could be so many things that can be calculated for that triangle. I mean, yes, that triangle of PQR. But now, since the cream of the question is the perimeter, I want you guys to be aware that if you do not know what a perimeter is, you won't be able to answer the question. You know, guys, I like this name of Mosiah. So I'm forced to just ask you, Mosiah, in terms of what perimeter is. I'm sorry, your name, it just sounds nice. Yana there. It's like you're one of those celebrities. Hey, guys, did I tell you what Mosiah means? Do you know, Grace? Do you know the full name for Mosiah? I doubt. Do you know, Grace?
No, Moses, when is here, I don't know.
Moses, what does perimeter mean? Hey, Mosiah ran away, guys. No. Order, honorable member.
Hello?
Mosiah, what's your point of order there? You are recognized.
Oh, okay. No, a perimeter, I think, is that inside part of a shape, the closed part, like in a given shape.
So you're saying the perimeter is
the inside part of a given shape, or the closed part.
Honorable members, do we agree with that one? You know, it's more like Mr. Mose. I'm saying where you are where are you going, and you are saying I'm going there, and I'm saying where, and you are saying there. Mr. Mose, I'm not satisfied with that response, guys.
I think someone can just come to my rescue.
Guys, anyone to give it a try, just mention your name and I'll recognize you. Moses he's saying he's going there. He knows where he's going, but he's not telling me where he's going. Anyone to give it a try, guys?
Kolahano, Lerato.
Kolahano, you are recognized, honorable member. What's your point of order there?
I think, or I remember being told that a perimeter is the total length, like the outside total. The like the outside, ne? The total length of the outside. How do I say the outside?
Yeah. You're naive. Eh? You're
Huh?
naive. You're
Yeah.
naive.
Mara, it's the total length of the outer part of like shape, something, yeah.
Mara ona re itse. A re itse. A go mo utlwile mo Zaya. Okay. Lerato, go for it. You are recognized. What do you remember of a perimeter?
I think it's a total distance around the edges of a shape.
So, in short, ladies and gentlemen, I think the three of you guys, you are right in a sense that you know exactly what you're talking about. It could be that you are not confidently able to explain it, but in short, it is exactly what you're. So it's more like whatever shape that you are having, Shriyas, it's just the sum of all sides. In short, so if you have the length, let's say the sum of the length of all sides. It could be explained in different ways, but the simplest explanation, I'm not sure of which one it is, but you just add all the sides of a shape. For example, if we know that from there is 2 centimeter, this is 1 centimeter, this is 1 centimeter, this is 2 centimeter, then the perimeter, it is actually equals to the sum of all sides. So it's 1 plus 2 plus that plus that. Okay, Mr. Mosiah, is this where you were going? Or
Oh yes, exactly.
Angimthembi lo. Niye angimthembi.
Oh, Nkosi
I'm
yami.
not convinced. Hey, nami Nkosi wethu angimthembi, nami angimthembi.
I
Okay,
was going
so
there.
you were hammering reverse. There you were hammering reverse. You know, I'm asking where are you going, but you are saying there. So it seems like we can easily answer this question, ladies and okay. Let's now ask ourselves this question: do we have two things for each side? If an answer to that question is a big yes, then let's easily calculate what we are supposed to calculate. So can you see, the moment we talk about the sides, it is the distance formula which is being involved. We cannot talk about the midpoint because it's just a point which is in the middle of 2 points. We cannot talk about the gradient because the gradient tells us about the steepness or the slope of a line. We cannot talk about a straight line because this one gives us the formula of that straight line. So the only thing which is relevant to this question, it is the distance formula. So okay. Mozia Hola, can you to calculate the distance of what is it? PQ. Let me just write that over there to say Mozia and Bukamoso. Can you guys calculate the distance of that? I'll choose the others to also calculate. Let's see. The distance of PQ. Can you guys determine that? And then again, the distance of PR. Let me see who'll work out the Grace and Shreyas. Can you guys calculate the distance of what is it? PR. And then the other one, it is going to be, let's say, QR. Who's going to calculate this one? Lwazi. Lerato and Molef. Okay. Lerato is gone. Lwazi and Lerato. Molefe, can you guys calculate the distance for this one? Just let me know. If you are done, just mention the answer there. So I hope you now have an idea of where we are going with this question, guys. So it is as easy as that. Nothing complicated there. It's only that if you don't know what the perimeter means, sometimes you do know, but you forget, because something like a perimeter is not really there in grade 12, but a question based on perimeter may be asked in any grade. Let's see. What's going on there?
Okay. The distance for QR, I got root 29.
Is it true? Who's can the other one confirm that answer? Who are you calculating it with, Lwazi?
I'm not sure, but I had my name, so I had to calculate.
So, okay, which one were you calculating? The distance of? Was it PR?
I was calculating, yes, it was QR, not PR, QR.
Oh, QR. How much is your answer there?
It's root 29.
The root of 29. Okay. And the other one?
My calculator's giving me errors.
What? Is it you punching the errors, or is it the calculator giving you the... You see, now you're shifting the blame, honorable member. Who is that? Let me see. Who is it? Kibukamos. Nie. Is it you or is it the calculator? Which one is it? Are you using the calculator or the calculator? Which one are you using there? No. There I'm disappointed. Mr. Mosier, I'm not sure. Are you still there?
I'm still here, sir. I'm still calculating.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, just a few seconds, yeah.
Shreyas, Grace, are you also calculating there on your side?
So I got 2 square root of 5.
2 square root of 5 for which one? For which length again?
So for PR, sir.
PR.
So for PR, you guys say you're getting 2 square root of 5 for P. Is it correct with your colleague there? Are you also
Correct.
getting the same thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 2 square root of 5. And then PQ. Team PQ, what are we getting there?
Yeah.
That's tough. Kunzima there.
I think it's a square root of 10. I don't know if I'm wrong or what.
No, let's assume you are wrong. I'm disappointed, Mose. That answer, it smells very wrong. First we got an error. Now it's square root of 10. Lerato. Awubabonise lapho utholani lapho? So we are left with PQ, guys. What are we getting there? Molefe, o sa le hona? Hey, I heard someone snoring.
Hi.
Hi, Moses, what's going on there? Moses is sleeping, guys. No. Then I will need to calculate this one, guys. Who is it? Loazi. You can still calculate this one. I just want us to get Q. What is it? PQ. Then we know we're sorted. Let me just substitute there.
PQ I got root 17.
You're getting root 17.
Yes.
Root 17. What is it? Mr. Loazi, Miss Bukamu. So just make sure that you try to punch it again. I'm also getting this one, which is square root of 17. What does it mean, ladies and gentlemen? It simply means the distance of PQ. Where's PQ? There's P, there's Q. It is actually square root of 17 units. So that is the length, or that is the side. Or maybe let me just do this and redraw it there. So this is square root of 17. And then this one, what is it? Is PR. Where's PR? There's P, there's R. Okay. So this is 2, the root of 5. What is Q? There is QR. There's QR. What is it? The root of 29. So that means the perimeter is just the sum of those sides. So what is the perimeter, ladies and gentlemen? There, I think it was the root of, what was it there? Was it the root of 29? I think so. So that means the perimeter, it is equals to, you can say PQ plus PR plus QR. What is PQ? PQ, it is square root of 17 plus, what is, this is PR. PR, what is PR? PR, it is that one. It is 2 square root of 5. Guys, this is the only opportunity that we get to have our English coming out of our near, what is it? Our nose. The letter. So when you hear me saying just know I'm talking about What is QR? QR, it is that one. So QR, it is square root of 29. So what is the perimeter? The perimeter has to be 17 plus 2 square root of. Guys, anyone to give me an answer? I was just giving you a chance to calculate there. Is there anyone who's got an answer there?
So say perimeter I got 13,98 and I rounded it
order,
off.
honorable members, order. Okay, Loazi, you are recognized. What are you getting there?
So I got 13,98 and then they said round it off to the nearest whole number, so basically it's going to be 14 units.
Loazi, not basically, no. Basically, did you get that? Hey, did my English chase Loazi away there, guys? I'm sorry, Loazi.
I'm sorry,
guys.
So, guys,
basically, our final answer, it is 14 units. Remember, they said to the nearest whole number, which means you just round it off to the nearest number. So the perimeter, it is actually 14 units. Mr. Basically, are you happy there? Is everyone happy there, guys? Before we
Yes,
move on to the last question. Can you try it, Lwazi? Can you try to say basically, or is it difficult to say?
basically.
Is there someone who wants to ask a question? I hear someone I think is calling my name. Who is that? Bokamuso, was it you calling me? No. Okay. So, guys, this is exactly how you score yourself 5 marks. So, for substituting into the formula, they give you some marks over there for you calculating the distance and everything. And they also give you answers for those. And again, for you to substitute correctly there will give you a mark, and also for your answers will give you a mark. So now let's try to move to the last question. And the last question says, I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see over there, but it says, determine an equation of the straight line parallel to PQ that passes through M. Lwazi and Bokamoso, we started this chapter on Monday, and we've been doing question papers since. So it's in most cases where, when they wanted us to determine an equation of a straight line, they would either mention to say a straight line parallel to whatever or perpendicular to whatever. So that means I'm now starting to realize that when they ask questions under analytical geometry regarding the equation of a straight line, it's either they ask for that line which is being parallel to one line or otherwise perpendicular to the other line. What I know very well is that if we've got parallel lines, that means if I have the gradient of that line being parallel to what I'm looking for, their gradient, it is going to be the same. And therefore, I'll just need 1 point. Or otherwise, if I'm dealing with perpendicular lines forming a Sefapano. Remember that song of what is it? Sefapano, guys. So I was saying perpendicular lines form a Sefapano having an angle of 90 degrees over there. So that means when you multiply the gradient of one line and the gradient of the other line, they can be equated to -1. So you just need to know the gradient of the other line that you are dealing with. So can you see? In this case, we're talking about what is it? An equation of a line parallel to PQ but passing through M. Where is M? There is M. So that means it has to be a line at that same angle or at that slope, at that same slope. So I'll just represent it as a broken line. Let's say this is the straight line passing through M. So I'll just show you in 2 ways. The first way, it is this formula which says y is equals to mx what is it plus c. The other one, it is this one of y minus y1 is equals to m into x minus x1. It is actually the same formula. So remember, guys, do we have the gradient of PQ? No, we don't have. Do we have it? I think we do. I think we do, guys. If you remember, we did calculate. Do you guys still remember that this gradient, it was 4? And for us to get that angle, we said the second function of that, because remember, this is the formula. Tan angle is equals to the gradient. And we used these 2 points, Mr. Mosiah. We used the 2 points to calculate the gradient, and the gradient was 4. But the question did not directly say we must calculate the gradient. They wanted us to calculate the angle formed there along that positive x-axis. So see question 1. Then we had to say second function of tan 4, and that's where we got this answer, which is that angle over there. But in this case, can you see they want us to calculate the gradient of a line parallel to that one. So we do know very well that for parallel lines, they've got the same or equal gradients. So what does it mean? It simply means we can therefore say y it is equals to 4x plus c at a point which is point M having 1 and 1. So that means also in this case you need 2 things. What are those 2 things? Number 1 is the gradient and a point. So can you see we need this point to calculate c. After calculating c, then we are done. So let's substitute. What is x? What is y? Y is 1, 4 into x is 1 plus c. You transpose. Therefore, we've got negative 4 being equals to your c. Therefore, this is an equation of a straight line. 4x, your c value, can you see? It is actually minus 4. Otherwise, if at your school they taught you using this formula, it simply means this is y as it is, you minus. What are you minusing there? You minus this value of the coordinates of M, because that's where it is passing through. So what is the y value there? It is 1. It's equals to, we know this is 4. This is x minus the x value there, it is 1. Loazi, remember to mute your, okay. So now you just need to rewrite this.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, go for it, honorable member.
Yes, to the first example, say you say 4 times 1. So it's supposed to be 4, and then when you take 4 to the other side, it's going to be 1 minus 4, and then the answer is going to be negative 3. If I'm wrong, may you correct me?
Yay, you are right. Did you guys notice what Loazi is saying there? It's like a Mr. Mosiah. I'm just going, but I'm going there. And this is where I am. But where I am is not what I wanted to go. Did you guys notice my mistake there? Let me quickly connect. Guys, before I correct that, Loazi is correct. But did you guys agree with him? Did you guys notice my mistake there? The greatest. Hey, Loazi, it seems like it's either the message is still on the way or everyone is watching Generations there. But let me correct that. Thanks very much, Loazi. So this is now actually 1 minus 4, and it is going to be, what is it? Negative 3 over there. I hope everyone is on the same page, guys. Just make sure that in case if you are left behind, you indicate there. So, Loazi, can we now try to proceed with this one?
Yes, sir.
But wait, Shreyas, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
So, do you agree with Loazi there, or is he? Can we trust Loazi there, Shreyas? Do you think he's right?
So I think we can trust him.
But Shreyas, can we trust Lozi? Lerato, do you think he's right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, then it means we can move on to that one. So let's see, what do we have here? So we have y minus 1. Remember, you always want to remove the bracket. So that times that, that times that. So what is it? This is 4x. What is that? Minus 4. Therefore, we just need to rewrite all of this in that standard form, which means we're going to move that to the other side. Therefore, we have y is equals to 4x, and then it is going to change the sign. So it's more like negative that plus that. So we have y is equals to 4x minus 3. Yes, both sides are the same. So you will just choose which method is suitable. But in my case, I've always been using this one. I think it's easy and straightforward. That one also, if you are confident, you can also use that one. Whichever method that you use, it is fine. So ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our lesson for today. I hope you guys did enjoy as much as I did, but I would just like to check with you on your side if everything made sense before I close the lesson for today. Is everyone happy there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
100%. So guys, thanks very much for joining. My name is Desmond, and I'm out.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.